Fort Defiance, defending the river here in Clarksville, Tennessee. It says these are the remnants of Fort Bruce of the Union. In September 1861, the Confederate defense line in the Western Theater extended from Columbus, Kentucky to the Cumberland Gap in East Tennessee. It included most of the Cumberland River and protected the Memphis, Clarksville, and Louisville railroads, as well as the major supply base at Nashville. The three small forts constructed at Clarksville were integral parts of this perimeter. And I'll just go on and kind of show you the rest of it. You can pause and read. Look at how huge this cannon is. This thing's massive. Got a bird nest up in there. Man, if you got hit with something like this, oh yeah, you definitely going down. And that's not even that big of a cannonball that it shoots. I've seen way bigger cannonballs. Alright, now let's go inside of the museum here. See, hours of operation Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 5, Sunday from 1 to 5, closed on Monday. A lot of Different types of rocks. Looks like arrowheads over there. That was found around here locally. So let's walk through and see. There's a gift shop. Small gift shop. Let's walk through and see what we can find in here. It's an old musket. Canteen. That was part of the Union. All right. So it says to enter this way. Faces and places connected to Clarksville. Micaiah Clark, the last treasurer of the Confederate States of America. And I don't really know a lot of who these people are. Virgil Earp. That would be a brother of Wyatt Earp, I believe. That's the same one. So I wonder what his connection to Clarksville is.
Alabama is now garrisoned by about 3,000 federals under the command of Colonel Lewis. Their pickets are at every inlet and outlet of the town, and no one, white or black, is allowed ingress or egress without a pass from the colonel. They seem determined to cut us from everything and everywhere.
Steamboats and locomotives that ran up and down the Cumberland River. Farming here in the area. So they grew wheat, hogs, and sheep. There's a train. I really like trains. I think they're cool, especially the old locomotives.
White folks, they make us no count.
There's an old iron furnace. There's several of them still around here. There's, I know one in Hickman County, but they're not many of them left. Tobacco. Now I remember when I was little, we used to come to Clarksville. My uncle was attending Austin P up here, and we would come up here in the winter or fall and winter And on the way, there would be big tobacco barns, and that'd be smoking, and it smelled so good. But I don't think they do that anymore. Or at least who owned those barns and those tobacco fields at the time. So here is how Clarksville is connected river-wise to a lot of different places. So you got Clarksville right here. Then you got the Tennessee River, the Cumberland River. You got Paducah, Kentucky, Ohio, Mississippi rivers. Mississippi flows on down to New Orleans. So yeah, Clarksville, it was a big hub point, because they could go to the Cumberland River and either go on over to the Mississippi and down, or it could come back and take the Tennessee and go down. And here's the forts that were here in Clarksville. So this is the one that we're at, Fort Sevier / Fort Defiance. You got Fort Clark. Looks like there was a planned fort, but it was unbuilt. And you got Fort Terry over here. And here is some cannonballs and how they were carried around. So it's a 12-pounder grape stand. A stand of grape shot consisted of 9 large iron balls about 2 inches each in diameter, and when fired, the round broke apart and acted like a shotgun. The round was replaced by a canister during the war. This is a 6-pound solid shot on a wooden sabot. Mounted on a wooden sabot, a solid iron ball, 3.5 inches in diameter, was backed with a bag containing over a pound of powder. The shot had a range of 1,100 yards and was used against fixed fortifications. And that was a 12-pounder canister. That one right there. And I'm right in the way, got the shadow. And it's another 6-pound canister.
Our town is now garrisoned by about 3,000 Federals under command of Colonel Bruce. Their pickets are at every inlet and outlet of the town, and no one, white or black, is allowed ingress or egress without a pass from the Colonel. They seem determined to cut us from everything and everywhere. I find it next to impossible to get anything to eat for the family, and my poor cow looks half famished. I've been looking forward to my garden for the supply, but they threaten to have the benefit of the gardens themselves. And my only hope is that they will be compelled to leave before the vegetables mature. The health of the family is much improved since I last wrote. Sarah Kennedy Letters, 1862 through 1863. Mrs. J. raised a fine lot of turkeys, and last night someone stole 9. I felt as sorry to hear it as though it had been my own. A few nights before, several of her little pigs went. I have found out the best ways is not to have much outside to attract thieves. The loss of my 55 stock of chickens has discouraged me from keeping any ahead, only as we need them for table. Margaretta Lewis to her husband, November 25th, 1863.
At the commencement of the Battle of Fort Donelson, the citizens of this place commenced moving from town in every direction and are keeping it up to this time. Not more than half of the families have remained. You cannot imagine the sad appearance of our city. All the dry goods merchants have left, except the Coulters. Goods are enormously high and very scarce. Calico selling at $1 per yard. Brown sugar is selling today at 20 cents per pound, and all other southern products about in proportion. Enclosed, you will find Commander Foote's proclamation to the citizens of our city. You can judge of the grace in which we take it. If met with an opportunity, I will send you some money. Nearly all we have is in southern tender, and I fear it will be of little or no use to us here much longer. William Epps Newell to Sally Newell, February 20th, 1862.
And Master had nothing against him. I had some pretty good home with Master, but if I runs off, I got no home, no food, no work, and no family. Maybe I best just stay where I am. Taken from various slave narratives, Library of Congress and Slavery's End in Tennessee, 1861 through 65 by John.
This tells about the fall of the forts. So in February 1862, the Union offensive against Tennessee began. An army under Ulysses S. Grant and a naval flotilla under Flag Officer Andrew Foote captured Fort Henry on the Tennessee River on February 6. They took aim at Fort Donelson on the Cumberland River, and despite initial Confederate success, the entire garrison of 15,000 troops surrendered on February 16th. Grant, under the orders from General Henry Halleck, then moved against Clarksville. On February 19th, Foote, who I just showed you a picture of, with the gunboats USS Conestoga and USS Cairo, arrived in Clarksville. Foote reported finding abandoned forts and white flags flying. The retreating Confederates set fire to the railroad bridge, which was extinguished by local citizens. Foote then sent for the authorities of the city. Cave Johnson, Mayor George Smith, and Judge Wisdom responded. Foote assured the city that only military supplies would be destroyed. Grant dispatched General Charles F. Smith's division as Clarksville's first Union garrison. And this is a picture of Cave Johnson. And this is a picture of the flag officer Andrew Foote again. So Confederate guerrillas and cavalry raiders. Confederate guerrilla bands formed after Middle Tennessee fell to the Union. Farmers and civilians by day, they attacked the Union posts by night, becoming the scourge of these garrisons. Guerrilla activity between Palmyra and Yellow Creek caused problems for Union commanders. Stewart County's Jack Henson, a civilian sharpshooter, was notorious for killing dozens of Union officers. And it goes on to read a little bit more. And there's a picture of General Nathan Bedford Forrest. And it goes on to talk a little bit more there as well. So here's a connection. Virgil Earp, charged with stealing money, spent time in Clarksville's jail. He and brother Wyatt Earp were later famous as U.S. Marshals and for the gunfight at the OK Corral. Okay, so there's his connection to Clarksville.
White folks, they make us no count. We's just slaves and nothing else. I just knows I belong to the man who provides for me, and I have to take whatever he give me. I got notions about freedom, but I keep it hid. We can't go out after dark or talk in the street in the day. The best thing to do is to be friendly and loyal and obedient to massa till freedom come. We ain't allowed to read and write. If we's found with a paper, we might just get a whooping. I just wants to read the Bible and learn to write before I dies. Massa tries to make us believe that the Yankees only wants to sell us to Cuba, get more money for the war. I thought them Yankees be downright heathens. But then I seen some of them soldiers, and they's real good looking people and don't seem to do nobody harm. If I was captured and taken by the Yankees and not satisfied, I could come back, and Massa have nothing against me. I has a pretty good home with Massa, but if I runs out, I got no home, no food, no work, and no family. Maybe I best just stay where I am. Taken from various slave narratives, Library of Congress and Slavery's End in Tennessee, 1861 through 65 by John.
So since I've been in the museum, it has decided to come a downpour. You see the little camp that was set up there? They closed up, moved inside. Yeah, it's just one of them scattered summer storms rolling through. There's a walking trail that you can walk down there. I was going to do that. Somebody's done left their windows down. I think it's a little too late to put them up now. Everything's done soaked. But yeah, that's a walking trail there. I was actually going to walk down it, kind of see, but I don't know if I will or not. Depends on how long this lasts.
took it, wrapped it in a cloth, towel, put it in the cooler.
Just waiting on the rain to stop.
I will finish cooking it in the oven, and I'm sure that my entire house will smell like a campfire. Especially in the campfire. Yes.
And I don't know when it's going to stop. It's been going on probably 15, 20 minutes. We'll see. Well, it's still raining. I'm not going to be able to walk to the fort, the trail down to the fort and all that. I'm actually standing out here getting pretty wet. So I'm going to close this video out, end this video short. Just going to have to come back another day and probably just redo it all and everything. But I'm going to go on and put this video out and stuff. And yeah, sorry I couldn't show you everything. Rain moved in real quick. Wasn't expecting it, but it did. But anyways, appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoy what I was able to show you. And again, please subscribe, like, share, comment, do all those free things. It really helps the channel out. Really do appreciate it. We're on our way to 1 million views. Actually, like about 12,000 more views, hitting 1 million. Then I'm going to put a video out about that as well. So continue to keep watching, continue to keep supporting. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see you real soon. Thank you and good night. It's not going to let up.